Members of UK Youth Parliament are passionate 11 to 18-year-olds who represent the views of young people in their local communities to the people in power. They listen, debate and campaign to help improve the lives of people in their area. This February, we need you to vote for the person you want to represent you in the UK Youth Parliament. To find out how to vote in your area, use your voice and have your say. Hear from your candidates.
Good evening. Technology will be our servant this evening. We will be positive, we will be communicative, and we will probably be muted at all the appropriate moments. My name is Councillor Nigel Hedges. I'm the current Chairman of BCP Council, which is a terrific honour and a privilege, but also a teeny weeny little bit scary. But I have the tools of my trade this evening, so I have my golden gong. I have my hammer and my gavel and gavel. Please don't make me use these. Behave. But we will have fun. Obviously, the most important people on this call this evening are our candidates. I'm bitterly disappointed that I can't meet you all. I think it's a terrific shame we're not in the wonderful 1930s Bournemouth community, the Old Town Hall, as we call it, Civic Centre. But I do actually have embraced modern technology, and I've actually stuck a picture of where I sit in the chamber on the wall behind me. So just pretend we're all there and surrounded by the gravitas of a historic building. So welcome to all the candidates. Really excited to hear what you've got to say this evening. It reminds me of a song by a soul jazz artist called George Benson, and the line goes, "Young people are our future, teach them well and let them lead the way." So this is the start of you leading the way, where old people like me move aside and you take us on a new and brilliant journey. And this is where you're starting this journey. Although I have to also balance that comment with former UK Prime Minister David Cameron, who said, "I was the future once." Where is he now? So welcome to all the candidates and their supporters, because they're all behind you wishing you well, watching quietly in the background. And welcome also to the elected members and senior officers of BCP Council. I'd also like to welcome Nathan Collins. He's a member of the Youth Parliament, and he's actually going to perform as my co-host this evening. So one of the hosts this evening is going to be terrifically mediocre. That will be me, and the other one will be Nathan, and he will be utterly brilliant. No pressure, Nathan. As it's already been explained to you, that this is being recorded and will be shared to enable a wider audience to hear the passion and issues that you express, you the candidates. We're seeking this evening to elect 2 members of the Youth Parliament and 2 deputies. We know that last year or last 2 years have been really difficult, but it's been very difficult for candidates this year to do what they have to do to get themselves out there, get their messages out there, and just to have the experience of real hustings. The whole process, obviously, so far has been online. And as I've already expressed, I really wish we could be hosting this evening in the council chamber. Anyway, some would say that's more than enough from me. But then I did warn Mrs. McDade that I would extemporise from time to time. But at this point, I'd like to hand over to Nathan. I can't see Nathan, but I'm sure he's there. And Nathan, please, would you welcome the first candidate?
Hello, everyone. I'm Nathan. I'm the current NYP for BCP. Glad you can all be here. And I really look forward to hearing what you have to say tonight. So the first candidate I'd like to welcome up is Alex Velosa. They are 14 and attend Avonbourne.
Hello. As you've heard, my name is Alex. I'm enthusiastic about education and opportunities. I'm pushing for 3 campaigns. Firstly, I want to implement an electronic program where every student in Dorset has equal access to a platform where they can pursue their interests, find work experience, and compete in competitions if they would wish to. In my school, students are streamlined by their sets into academic subjects, such as sociology, with an indication that they will be going on to higher education. I believe that such priorities, are kind of unfair because they limit success and freedom in education. So my program will seek to try and reduce elitism and difference in opportunity. And I want to make sure that every student has equal access and freedom to do whatever subject and go to whatever school with obviously work put in and hours put in they would like. Secondly, I want to introduce a program in basic IT skills because I believe IT and technology is the future. I want to introduce it to every school. I also have some studies to help support my theories. I hope they're not outlandish, but Ofcom reports that 94% of UK households have fixed access to the internet, and the Department of Digital Culture, Media and Sport report that jobs requiring IT skills pay up to 29% more than those that don't. And I'd like to ask you a question. In this competitive world where COVID-19 has pushed for digitalization of careers and basic services like the NHS and this meeting we're in now, why should students be, why should they be denied an essential skill that will help them everywhere they will go, in every country, every city, everywhere? So that's why I'm pushing for opportunities and basic skills in technology so that we can thrive in a digital world. Lastly, I'd like to give students an opportunity to relax, especially during exam periods. I just had an exam today. It was stressful, as it was very stressful. It's almost over. I have some more exams this week. And I'd love it if I could just have one day where my school allowed like pets or something like that to come in and help me relax and celebrate the ending of exam periods, to really help me unwind. Again, I have some studies with me. I'd like to mention that how the University of York and the University of Lincoln found that in a study of 6,000 people from the UK, more than 90% said their pet has helped them cope emotionally with lockdown. If in the weeks before an exam, students are feeling worried or emotionally distressed, which I know I was, pets can be brought in on a mental health day and help students cope, similarly to how pets helped owners cope in lockdown. I have a slogan as well, so I tried hard on that one. Had to rhyme and everything. Vote for me to get your opportunity. And I hope you consider my points, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Alex. Great to see you, great to hear you. We're already thinking of great things. Right, I'd now like to introduce Alice Hannibal, lives in Redhill and Northbourne and is 15 years old. Alice, please.
Thank you. Hi everyone, my name is Alice Hannibal. I'm 15. I go to Bowman School for Girls, and I really want to be your member of Youth Parliament for the next 2 coming years. My campaign, it's pretty short. It's only really 3 words: stand, hands, and wristbands, and they cover my 3 main campaign points. Stands represents free music lessons for young people. I do piano myself. My lessons cost upwards of £150 per half term, and realistically, not everyone can afford that, and so many people are pushed away from studying music just because of the cost. And there's something we can do about that, and I'd really like it if we could. Hands is for introducing BSL into all secondary schools and many public places such as restaurants. I sometimes struggle verbally, and I have a 101 qualification in British Sign Language. So for everyone to be able to interact with the deaf or non-verbal community and just learn simple things like how to order a pizza, because everyone loves pizza, or get a bus ticket or anything like that. And finally, wristbands is my initiative for providing money to help young people in the care system. My idea is the Duffel Shuffle Disco. It's a public disco where your entry fee is not money, but a donation of something like a duffel bag or a blanket that young people in care could really use. I myself am care experienced, and I know just how much such simple things could help. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for listening. I'm Alice, and remember, stands, hands, wristbands.
Thank you very much, Alice. There were some very important issues. Thank you. Next up, we have Amelia Kensington. She is 12 years old and attends St. Edward's.
Hello. As it was said, my name is Amelia Kensington and I'm 12 years old and I attend St. Edward's School. The last time I did a full year of uninterrupted education was in year 4. I'm now in year 7. The pandemic has affected all of us in many ways. Adults have worked tirelessly to ensure that the impact on our generation has been minimised, but this hasn't been enough. I'm running for Youth Parliament to get the voice of our generation heard. The Prince's Trust in 2021 found that over a third of young people feel powerless to change their own future, and nearly 1 in 3 think that their opinions don't matter. Along with 2 years interrupted schooling came interrupted extracurricular activities, which meant access to trips, art, sports, science experiments, and going abroad were all cancelled. Through conversations with my peers, I've learnt that provision to students was varied. The National Tutoring Programme is a start, but it impacts a small amount of students for a small amount of time. I will work tirelessly to encourage an increase in funding so that students who missed out can have the opportunity to enjoy and develop as though the pandemic never happened. From financial support to create in-school opportunities, to time given to teachers to tutor, there are a myriad of ways to lift and inspire our young people. The school of young people asked in the same study believe that their generation could change the future. I'm asking for the opportunity to convince local leaders to empower them and give them back the experiences they missed. My name is Amelia.
Thank you, Amelia. Great stuff. I think we had some noises, not sure whether that came out online, but I hope everybody heard everything you said there. Just to try and trip up your co-host this evening, we now have another Amelia. This is Amelia Mears, who attends Highcliffe School and is 16.
Hi there. Thank you. As you heard, I'm Amelia Mears. I'm from Highcliffe Sixth Form and I'm currently in year 12. And my campaign is just one simple campaign. I think people of all backgrounds should get work experience and job opportunities. I feel like that work experience from the very start of year 7 all the way up to year 13 is crucial throughout college years and throughout your start years, because we are the future of tomorrow and we need to make a change. I surveyed my sixth form about, I think it was 100, approximately 100 of year 12 and 13s, which, just to note, is the height of our year, when we're supposed to be knowing when we want to go to uni, and 75% of these students had no possible career change, like they didn't know what they wanted to do for their final career. That's shocking to think that when we're supposed to know where we want to be in 10 and 20 years, we don't know. I feel like I'm pushing for this one campaign just to get a diverse range of these opportunities to where we see ourselves in the future. I want campaigns put forward. I want career fairs, and I'm not just talking about the ones after school that most kids can't be bothered to go to because they're too busy hanging out with their friends. I want these schools and these teachers to put forward opportunities for us. They need to put in the effort, because we need security knowing what we're going to be doing. We're left alone with one careers advisor who comes in once a week, and we're expected to just magically know what our job's going to be. We need people coming into these schools. We need hands-on job experiences. I want things ranging from astronauts to scientists to your simple office job. That could be some kid's dream, but we're not fueling that. We aren't helping it. So I really want us to have big dreams, because kids have to see it to believe it. You can't expect them to just know what they want to do. We need funding for our futures. So if you believe that, vote for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Amelia. That was really great. Thank you. Next up, we've got Annabelle Hodges. She's 14 years old and attends Parkstone Grammar.
Hi, I'm Annabelle Hodges and I'm 14 years old. My first campaign is sign language use. Though there are approximately 64,000 hard of hearing people in the BCP area, not enough hearing people are able to communicate using sign language. It can be isolating when the world does not accommodate your needs, so it is hearing people's job to make our community more accessible and welcoming. I aim to run workshops with deaf people to teach hearing people accessibility in the BCP area. My second campaign is street harassment. 35% of UK schoolgirls have been harassed in their school uniform. Sexualisation of women, in particular teenage girls, is normalised, and I want to change this in our area. I want to educate people on the impact of street harassment and encourage them to call out their friends on unacceptable behaviour so that early inappropriate harassment can be targeted. As a council, we need to learn that we don't need rules and regulations for women. It is the perpetrators to take responsibility. Thank you.
Thank you, Annabelle. Great stuff. Thank you very much indeed. Next up, we have Dylan Rees-Kashan. He attends Twynham and is 15. Dylan.
Hi, I'm 16 actually now. Had my birthday a couple of weeks ago, but thank
Happy
you for
birthday.
Hi, I'm Dylan. As aforementioned, I love music, playing an instrument, playing piano and the horn, and I also love theatre. And I've sat on a golf cart with Mel C just before a Spice Girls gig, which I think was quite cool. I truly believe in equality, and I've experienced firsthand how it feels to be bullied just for identifying something other than straight. I think we need to roll out strategies for peer-to-peer bullying, but I also think that our teachers could do with some education so they can better tackle homophobia, transphobia, and other forms of discrimination aimed at the queer community. Surveys have shown that 4 out of 5 anti-LGBTQ+ hate crimes go unreported. Our schools should be places where we can all learn in safely. Staff and students need to be aware of how to make people feel safe in coming forwards to tell their stories. Another matter close to my heart is that every student should have the right to wear the uniform they feel comfortable in. Some BCP schools still have non-inclusive uniform policies. For example, at many schools, male students aren't allowed to wear tracksuit bottoms in sports lessons, when female students can. Non-binary students still have to wear girls' or boys' uniform. This is really outdated and unfair. So I will aim to make uniform policies more inclusive, ensuring every student feels comfortable at school. The climate emergency is an issue that we as young people will be affected by, far more than the people currently governing us. We need to take urgent action to limit the effects of rapidly changing climate. I've taken part in climate activism for as long as I can remember, and as a member of the Youth Parliament, I would campaign for every school in the BCP area to become a certified eco school. This would give young people a say in how climate change is being tackled in their schools. Part of this is the campaign for more ethical school meals. Food waste creates up to 10% of the world's CO2 emissions. I will campaign to reduce food waste across the BCP area as part of the effort to address the climate emergency. I'm Dylan Rees-Kashan, and thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Dylan. That was a very passionate speech. Next up, we have Edward Flynn. He is 15 years old and attends Poole Grammar.
Hello, as you've heard, I'm Edward Flynn and I'm running for Youth Parliament. I believe more needs to be done to remove the stigma surrounding the LGBTQ+ and ethnic communities. People need to be more aware of the damage they're causing someone's mental health by using the word gay or other offensive slurs. If I get elected as NYP, I will make sure that teachers know how to act when they witness a form of racism, sexism, or homophobia, rather than just being a bystander. We all know the problems surrounding the environment, so why isn't more done? Why can't we have cycle highways like London and other major towns and cities, or even more pedestrianised areas in BCP? If I get elected as NYP, I believe that more charging points should be implemented in and around BCP for the growing number of electric and hybrid cars. Another issue is public transport. I believe public transport should be free for under 18s. OAPs get free public transport and they also get a pension. Now, I'm not against old people, but surely it'd be fair for younger people to travel for free as well, as it is harder for younger people to earn money to pay for such travels. Thank you.
Thank you, Edward. Thank you very much indeed. Now, next up on our list is Emily Lucas, who's 13, lives in Boston West. Unfortunately, she's unable to join us this evening, so we'll watch her campaign video instead. Here's the test of technology.
Hi, my name is Emily and I want to be a member of Youth Parliament. I realise over the last 2 years, teenage stress and anxiety has increased immensely. 80% of young people have said the pandemic has influenced their mental health, hence why change needs to happen and fast. I will investigate other countries' education systems who have taken successful action on supporting the well-being of their teenagers. For example, Switzerland has changed from a 3-term year to a 5-term year, which has benefited the country's population of young people vastly. It would mean having more balance out the school year between work and rest. This topic has already been in discussion in Parliament multiple times, but I hope to try and influence the idea heavily in BCP. I know a common argument is we should start schools later to lessen stress, but let's be realistic. All that is going to do will encourage us to go to bed later. We won't be solving the problem, just creating a new one. What I have also seen come to light in our society is discrimination, specifically in schools, therefore affecting a young person's education and future. In 2016, there were 31,653 documented racist incidents across 94 councils. This is a fact that our government does nothing to change. Many other teenagers also face discrimination due to gender, sexuality, or belong to different religions or culture. Students have a right to feel supported and safe at school, especially to those who already belong to a minority. I know this issue is important to this generation of young people, and that is why I believe we'll be able to take serious action against this. As your member of Youth Parliament, I plan to make sure students in BCP get the best out of their time as a teenager without barriers caused by discrimination.
I guess we'll hand over to Nathan for the next introduction, please.
So, Chair, sorry to interrupt, but there were quite a few people, including me. We couldn't hear the video.
The recording on Emily's is very, very quiet, so it's not on my screen. I think the next one will be louder. It's her recording that was very, very quiet.
Okay. If we do get a chance at the end, could we play that one again?
Yeah, I'm not sure it'll be much louder, but we can.
Would it be possible to link the YouTube video in the chat so people could watch it?
Yep, I can do that. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so next up, we've got Grace Jackman, lives in Camford Heath and is 15 years old.
Hi everyone, as mentioned, I'm Grace and I go to Parklands Grammar. I want to give a bit of an introduction of who I am behind my campaign before I read out my speech, because I think maybe that can be a bit impactful as I start quite strongly. So a simple way of getting to know me, as I go to Parklands Grammar, as mentioned, and I love anything to do with books, dungarees, theatre, houseplants and the colour yellow. It is very, very rare to see me without at least one of these items. I've had an interest in politics for around 3 years. Throughout this, being involved in BCP Youth Forum, which has given me the opportunity of being able to speak to a wide range of people who have diversified and challenged my views. However, I've also had to look in on the fundamental issues within new services that I had the passion and the drive to challenge, which I believe becoming a member of Youth Parliament will allow me to do so. I'm an advocate for radical material change within our societal treatment of mental health, and how that impacts the services provided, especially due to its far-reaching effects. You will always know someone, at least one person struggling, so let's help them. On to my speech. Hi, and I've got a question for you. Would you know what to do if a friend was having a panic attack? Would you even know how to identify it? Would you know how to access support services if you needed them? The majority of students, the answer to these questions is normally no. So that's why my campaign is mental health. 35% of people will experience a panic attack in their lives. Approximately 1 in 3. 10 people in a usual classroom. However, the services to prevent this alarming issue are letting us down, with lack of awareness at the forefront. And that's where we come in. Have you seen these? These are pop cards created by members of Youth Parliament and Youth Forum over the last 2 years to help the classroom deal with mental health. From my experience in working on these, if I became an NYP, I want to create a training package for all teachers and students within schools, which builds upon the work outlined in these cards to aid with their utilisation. This package will be written by students for the students. Non-textbook advice and methods with accessibility a main priority. Content such as how to help students struggling with depression, how to identify the first signs of a panic attack, how to identify the first signs of an eating disorder, and more will be covered. Preventative measures that are easily implemented but make the world of difference, whether they save someone's day or someone's life. Vote for me, Grace Jackman. It's a vote for me, it's a vote for an open conversation and education on the issues important to you. Thank you very much, and vote for me if you like.
Thank you, Grace. Nobody could sleep through your speeches, could they? Right, excellent. Now we have Hala Nafta, who lives within the Eastcliff and Springbourne ward. She's 14 years old.
Hello, my name is Hala Maftah and I attend Avonbourne Girls Academy. I'm applying for Youth Parliament for 2 reasons. The first is I want to be a voice for all young people who have a hard time balancing cultural and religious events and school at the same time. I and many of my friends have to sacrifice our education to attend our cultural or religious events. There are 11.6% of the BCP population who are BME, Black and Minority Ethnic, and 4.4% of the 19.5% of ethnically diverse residents in the whole country live in the BCP area. If you elect me as a member of Youth Parliament, I promise to try my hardest to make cultural and religious events such as Eid, Sinulog, Hanukkah and Diwali a national holiday like Christmas. I believe it is unfair to make students choose between their education and cultural and religious events. The second reason is mental health. 50% of mental health problems are established at the age of 14. The mental health of young people, especially in sensitive times like their teenage years, is really important. Many mental health problems in teenagers are a result of early mornings and long school hours. I will attempt to start school at a later hour than usual. For example, instead of school starting at 8:30 a.m., they would start at 9:30 a.m. I believe that would greatly benefit all students across the UK, not just the BCP area. My pledge to you is if I'm elected as a member of Youth Parliament, I will attempt to legalise school starting at a later time. This would lessen the stress and pressure students go through on the daily.
That was great. Glad you got to fully tell us your campaigns. That was great. Next up, we've got Joe Hadley. They are 16 years old and live in Muscliffe and Stroughton Park Ward.
Hello everyone. My name is Joe Hadley and I wish to be your member of the Youth Parliament. If I were to be elected, my main policies would be to tackle the problem of mental health. Since the pandemic started, mental health in children has been swept aside and this is not good. Mental health should be protected and taken care of. The second key policy is making sure that young people are educated and understand healthy eating. This will be done by providing informational lessons and health courses. Currently, only 42% of young people eat fresh fruit every day, but this lowers to 22% for vegetables. I will make this change. The final policy would be to improve sporting facilities for young people. Over the past few years, we have seen disruptions all over the world, but the one thing that's remained crucial is exercise. Therefore, if I become your member of Youth Parliament, I will help to improve sporting facilities in the local area.
Oh, lots of outside, lots of location shooting there. I wonder what budget he was working to on that one. So if you can hear us, Joe, thank you. Kept us on our toes. Right, now I'd like to introduce Josh Bowman. He's from Creekmore and is 17 years old. Unfortunately, Josh has been called to work at the last minute, so we will share his election video.
Sorry, I am on it. 3 in a row is causing a challenge for me in terms of my internet capability. So.
Hi guys, my name's Josh, and I hope that you vote for me to be your representative to Youth Parliament. I've always had a fascination with the world that we live in, and that how small changes collectively can make a massive impact. So, last year, you voted for the 7 issues that were most important to you. And I will be representing 3 of these. COVID impact and mental health. I will also be standing for the environment, and I'll be standing for equality. All of these 3 issues in the last few years have proven to be very topical and controversial. And I believe that action on every one of these issues that I've mentioned needs to be taken immediately. And I can guarantee that if you vote for me for Youth Parliament, I will work tirelessly to make sure that that change does actually come. So, if you agree with me and you agree that these issues, or even one of these issues, is vital and needs emergency action taken, then please vote for me. Josh. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Josh. Next up, we have Larissa Cuthbert. She is 13 and attends Talbot Heath School and lives in the Newtown and Heathlands ward.
Good evening. My name is Larissa. My campaign for you is all about great food for your body and mind. I will create a group of young people who will make an app about food that young people can use. We will create videos for the app to show how to make recipes. My group will work with NHS dietitians and Bournemouth University nutrition students to create the recipes. Each month, local young people will send in their cooking videos, photos, and recipes, which we will showcase on the app. On the app, there'll be a section that shows you videos of food that is good for different parts of the body. To be inclusive, we will produce recipes that are suitable for vegetarians, vegans, and pescatarians. We will work with local religious community groups to provide recipes for young people of different religions. We will create a section on the app for people who are wanting good eating advice during exams. As well as the app, we will work with youth workers to help them put on cooking classes at local youth centres. Finally, we will create 2 food festivals that you can come to. The first will have food experts talking about healthy eating, cooking exhibitions, and breakout rooms to talk about food and body image. The second will be an international food festival where local young people from different countries can bring food for others to try and experience. The app will be fun, help young to communicate, and increase confidence. The festivals will include as many people as possible and will be interesting and great fun. Believe in me, I can improve the lives of local young people. Please vote for me.
Thank you, Larissa. Amazing artwork behind you. Lots of confidence, loads of great ideas from all of you. Now it's time for Leo Burnett. He lives in Broadstone, is 17 years old.
Thank you, Councillor Hodges. As mentioned, I'm Leo, I'm 17, I'm currently in year 12. In my spare time, I enjoy sailing and working for University Southampton's social prescribing programme at their hospital there, as well as making great use of our wonderful local surroundings and attractions. I've had previous experience in politics, both here in Bournemouth, Christchurch and Poole, as part of our youth forum, and in the wider international and national scale. And I love having the opportunity to bring the issues central to our young people to the attention of our government. I'm also a big fan of asking the politically motivating questions, such as, what have young people ever done for democracy? It's a good question, isn't it? Here's a better one. Have young people ever done anything for democracy? A few well-known examples spring to mind. Malala Yousafzai, who defied the Taliban, Jaslyn Charger and her inclusivity campaigns, or Paran Jaggi's environmental entrepreneurship. These young people, and many more like them, are truth that young people really can impact democracy and politics all around us. So with this in mind, what can we do to influence democracy and politics right here in BCP? Well, we can elect members of Youth Parliament, like me, who I hope to be, and I hope to work for you, directly for you, to combat the problems faced by us, our generation. For example, lowering the voting age to 16 for council elections, increasing the number of higher education courses and apprenticeship schemes open to 16 plus locally, improving the quality of and access to youth work and social schemes, and subsidising school meals for all pupils under the poverty line. I'm also really keen on calling on the United Kingdom Youth Parliament and the wider central government to create a commission to advise on legislative change to end rape culture here in BCP and on a national scale. Another of my key interests and policies is introducing monetary, physical and emotional benefits for young carers provided by the NHS or state directly. So we can elect members of Youth Parliament, we can devise youth-led climate solutions, we can put a stop to youth poverty, and most importantly, we can become the generation of change. It's time for change. So how can we bring about change? Well, if you elect me as your member of Youth Parliament, I will advocate for change using a whole variety of policies outlined in my campaign video, on the bullet points on the voting website, and on my campaign social media. They are all vital for bringing change to our generation and to the wider world. Indeed, many politicians have tried to influence youth-focused policies. Some have succeeded, but many have failed. So what makes me different from them? Why should you trust me with your vote? Because, unlike other politicians, I will try, and if I fail, I will keep on trying and fighting for you, for us, until we do make a difference. I was once told politics is about the many, not the one, but I disagree. Politics should involve every single person. Recently, politics has become two-party political. It's become all about sides and power plays. The essence of democracy, the very definition of democracy, has been lost. For the people, by the people, for you, for us. Allow me the chance to make a change, and I promise you won't regret it. I can't promise we'll succeed in bringing change on every policy, but I can promise I will fight with every strength of my fibre to bring change in a meaningful and impactful way to each and every one of you. So, ladies and gentlemen, residents of Bournemouth, Christchurch and Poole, join me, and together, let's be the generation of change.
Thank you very much, Leo. That was a great speech. Next up, we have Luke James. They are 17 and live in the ward of Talbot and Branksome Woods.
Hello everyone, my name is Luke James and it's very nice to meet you. My key focus in my campaign to become your MYP is the mental and physical health of young people like you and me. I have 3 areas that we as constituency can tackle in order to improve our mental and physical health. My first area is tackling youth poverty and hunger in the area. Youth poverty rates have skyrocketed during the COVID-19 pandemic nationwide, including in the BCP area. I hope to work with food banks, charities and our council to help combat this and make sure that youth poverty and hunger can be successfully removed from BCP. My second area is fighting county lines. County lines abuses young people nationwide and in the BCP area. It often goes hand in hand with youth poverty. I hope to work with Dorset Police to remove the stigma around the anonymous reporting of county lines and drug abuse. I hope to achieve this by promoting how to report anything you see through the Crime Stoppers website. My third area is combating environmental damage, especially littering on the beach. Over the last summer, I worked on the seafront and saw firsthand what damage littering was doing, how the environment was being abused. I plan to tackle this through working with the BCP seafront team, as well as environmental charities to protect the beach and discourage people from littering. These 3 issues have massive influence over our mental and physical health and so are key in our fight to improving it. I hope that you care as much as I do about these issues and therefore vote for me to be your MYP. Thank you.
Thank you, Luke. I was away with all your thoughts there. I do apologise. Right, next up is Martin Day, who attends Bournemouth School for Boys and is 16.
Hi, I'm Martin Day, and obviously I'm running to be your member of Youth Parliament. The most important focus of my campaign is drug abuse, an issue which has ruined countless lives across the country, including those of thousands of young people. Bournemouth, Christchurch and Poole obviously aren't immune to this, and in the last 4 years, nearly 1,000 cases of child drug and alcohol abuse have been recorded in Dorset. A vital way to counter these appalling figures is raising awareness. Though everyone knows the dangers of drugs like cocaine and heroin, there are major misconceptions over supposedly milder drugs like marijuana, which can in fact cause serious mental issues, especially in young users. It's also important not to stigmatize the issue. Young people who suffer from drug abuse should be encouraged to come forward and seek help. If elected, I promise to campaign to help end this blight on our local area. I'm not proposing anything revolutionary, but I think it's crucial that the BCP Council has drug prevention at the forefront of its policies. Of course, there are other issues besides drugs that are important to combat. Climate change, for one, has become an increasingly worse problem in recent years, and as the government has proven unwilling to confront the issue anytime soon, it is hugely important that Britain's young people make their voices heard and ensure local authorities remain committed to green politics in their decisions. Similar government incompetence has been bitterly apparent in providing aid for child poverty during the pandemic. The BCP area has one of the highest levels of child poverty in the region. It is crucial, therefore, that special importance is placed on dealing with this issue. And if elected, I would aim to work with the council to tackle it and continue raising awareness on this problem. Tomorrow, vote Martin Day for your Member of Youth Parliament.
Thank you very much, Martin. That was a great speech. Next up, we have Oliver, who attends Avonbourne and is 17 years old.
Hi, my name is Oliver Socheskin. I'm 17 years old. I will be running for 3 main causes: spreading awareness about climate change and its effect on BCP, young people's mental health and child poverty. I'm passionate about these topics because I feel they have a devastating impact on young people, not only in the BCP area, but all of the UK. We are privileged to live near the sea. However, climate change and littering is destroying the appearance of our beaches, from sandbanks to Hengistbury Head. It is imperative we protect them due to their social, economic and cultural importance. Young people's mental health has diminished over the course of the pandemic, and it is vital that young people get the resources needed to thrive socially and in education. As a sixth form student, I have seen peers struggle mentally, suffering from burnout and mental exhaustion. It is essential that the message gets across about the struggles that young people face. Child poverty is a serious issue we need to tackle, as it is a gateway for youth crime, including antisocial behaviour and knife and gang crime. Together, we can bring youth crime to a standstill and ensure that every young person is recognised and that their talents and skill set are fully utilised to the maximum. Every young person should have equal and fair opportunities to be the best they can be. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Oliver. That's great stuff. Paolo Lucchesi, as a first aider, lives in Broadstone and is 13. Paolo, now's your turn.
Thank you. So, hi, I'm Paolo, and I'm running for Youth Parliament. But before saying why, I wanted to say that if I did this speech 2 years ago, I would be talking about completely different problems. And I certainly wouldn't be presenting this speech in front of a camera in my bedroom. But if we ever want to fix other problems we may have, we must focus on getting rid of COVID first and getting things back to normal. This is why, if I'm elected, my main goal will be COVID recovery. I will do this by opening support groups in schools for people badly affected by the pandemic. I will also open a website where you can send in any ideas you have about how schools can help with getting everything back to normal. So, what next? After that, my aim is to put an end to knife crime, littering, and vaping, especially in young children. I believe that all of these are life-changing things for the people who do them and for the other people affected by them. My aim is to make the rules about this more clear and for education to help prevent these things from happening in the first place. Finally, I know school feels like a chore for most people, which is why I want to change the learning environment for students. I want it to be less like a chore and more like a community where students can learn a lot whilst getting a fair amount of work to do and more time to relax. And if you want to contribute to this, the COVID suggestion website will be repurposed to be an all-purpose suggestion website on how anyone can make school a better place for you. And if you're interested in what I said, make sure you vote for me through your school or college. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Paolo. That was a really passionate speech. Next up, we have Sam Kirby, who is 16 and lives in the Littledown and Iford ward.
Hi, I'm Sam. I'm 16 years old and I am year 12 at Bournemouth School. I believe I'll make an amazing member of Youth Parliament due to my confidence and social skills. I'll give this position 100% of my time and care so I can get across the views of my constituents. I feel like I could make a positive impact, and I would like it to be felt for future Youth Parliament members to come. My first main policy is to support working families. My dream is to remove VAT on domestic energy bills. I believe this is severely unfair, especially in times of COVID, where job positions are extremely unstable. As many families I know in the BCP area are struggling to survive during this time, especially due to COVID, and I feel like removing this VAT on domestic energy bills will be a great help. I would love to achieve this by working with local MPs to bring this topic up in the House of Commons for further discussion. My second main policy is the revitalisation of Bournemouth Town Centre and other town centres in BCP alike. I would have added support for the homeless through the continuation of the ideas of donation boxes, so people know that the money that they give go directly to those in need and will be spent in a responsible way. I feel like this would also reduce the number of non-genuine and aggressive beggars, which could help Bournemouth Town Centre and other town centres in BCP to feel safer, which could lead to more people wanting to visit and spend money in the high street. My final policy is the reduction of business rates, and this will try to keep stores open in high streets, as there's far too many empty shop fronts where there's where there's no shops there, so the high street feels dead. Our town centres are severely suffering due to this. This will also aid small businesses and give them the proper chance to succeed. This reduction will also help for town centres to feel alive with abundance of shops for people to visit. In conclusion, I feel like I'm a strong candidate. My core values are helping working families, rejuvenating Bournemouth Town Centre, and lowering business rates to help small businesses develop and for the local economy to thrive. Thank you for listening, and I would love if you voted for me.
Thank you, Sam. I was president of the Bournemouth Chamber of Trade and Commerce for 5 years, so you hit a few buttons there for me, I have to say. But everybody's passion this evening is given me renewed strength and optimism. Right, now it's Sebastian Richards, is 12, member of Strictly Stage Theatre School, attends Poole Grammar.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Sebastian and I hope to be your next member of Youth Parliament. I've lived or gone to school in the BCP area for all of my life. I currently go to Poole Grammar School. My main campaign focus is youth services and extracurricular clubs. I've been very lucky as I've attended and had many opportunities outside of school. However, some children have not been so lucky. Youth services have seen a 70% funding cut in the 10 years leading up to 2019, including a loss of over 750 youth clubs. At that time, the government promised £500 million to support youth clubs, including the creation of 60 new youth centres and 100 mobile services. 3 years later, and the funding is yet to materialise. The impact of the pandemic, lockdowns, and the closure of schools has significantly impacted on children's mental health all over the UK. There has never been a greater need for there to be a safe place for young people to hang out, socialise with friends, and have access to trusted adults they can talk to, confide in, and who can support them with their feelings and situations. In addition, industry experts providing masterclasses could develop skills, improve health, and support education and career choices. Extracurricular activities boost young people's confidence to interact socially with others and provide them with new skills and abilities. Above all, they offer an important space to have fun and relax away from the pressures of school. Extracurricular activities help students to learn about themselves and develop and use their skills and knowledge in different contexts. As well as clubs outside of school, I'd like to look at the extracurricular activities provided by schools. Sports are well represented, however, the wider spectrum of pursuits and activities are often overlooked. We need to support schools to provide a broad and balanced curriculum of activities. Thank you for listening, and I hope to see you soon.
Thank you very much, Sebastian. That was a really well-spoken speech. Well done. Next up, we've got Sydney Smith, who lives in Creekmore and is 14.
Hello, I am Sydney Smith, as mentioned. I am running for Youth Parliament because I'm very passionate about the issues that we face. I am particularly very passionate about education, and as once former Prime Minister Tony Blair said, education, education, education. It really is the root of all our problems. We need people to be happy attending schools. We need people to be passionate about education, and that is what I am. I am so passionate. I believe that schools really can make the difference and can bring out the best in everyone. And that is what I am running on. From introducing practical skills into schools so people feel like they have a place in schools and this can prepare them for when they leave. From just generally improving mental health in schools and support. This isn't all that I'm running on. I'm running on knife crime reduction because that is another very important issue that we all face. And it is a danger to so many people. And that is also, if we can push for education within schools, we can really make the difference with knife crime as well, the environment, everything. I'd like to thank you for listening to me, and I hope you have enjoyed what I have said.
Thank you, Sydney. We're all listening, all of us. Awesome. Right, we now have Talia Matungamire, who lives in Ward of Boscombe and East and Folkestone, is 15 years old. Talia.
Hello everyone. For those who don't know me, my name is Talia Matungamire and I'm a Year 10 student at Avonbourne Academy, and I'm running for Youth Parliament to try and improve the quality of school meals for children across Dorset. Until a few years ago, I was on the free school meals scheme, but whether or not I was having free school meals, I've always had canteen meals for lunch, so I have a good knowledge of the quality of food available to students. Over the years of eating at school lunches, I've noticed a decline of said quality. This may be due to a number of schools being changed into an academy status, which provides them with the control over their financial budget, which could lead to them having to make hard choices of how they prioritise their funding. However, there are some schools that can receive funding from other sources, such as if they are smaller, religiously affiliated or private. Furthermore, many studies show that when compared with the lower classes, the upper class have a longer lifespan, a better health status, and a lower chance of suffering from a disability. Do you think it's fair that children of a lower economic status deserve food of a lower quality? Because I can almost guarantee that the food served in public schools would never be seen in a private or even grammar school. This matter is especially important in Avonbourne, as 18.5% of our students are eligible for free school meals, meaning that students in our school, perhaps more than others, strongly rely on them. If I get elected, I promise you that I will follow this through and push to get results. I'm a very hardworking and ambitious student, and I hope you can put your trust in me for this and for future campaigns. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Talia. That was really great. Next up, we've got Tirini Seydu, who attends Avonbourne School, lives in Queen's Park Ward, and is 13.
Hi, I'm Tirini and I'm campaigning to be a member of Youth Parliament. But before I say that, I would like to say something first. I came to the UK like a month and a year ago, yeah, and it's been a big difference because like I've never been given the opportunity to be able to talk about things that affect me in the society and other people who are my age group and age range, and it's when Becky came to our school to give like the stuff and the speech about Youth Parliament and introduce us to it. It felt like a really good opportunity, and I felt like going for it. So I like to say thank you to Becky. And also, I would like to say in my speech now. Hi, I'm Tirini and I'm campaigning to be a member of Youth Parliament. And my reasons for this are, firstly, to ensure that the voices of young people is given a well-deserved attention in decisions that affect society. Because if people just go ahead and make decisions for us, we're never going to be able to actually like make progress. It's just going to affect us and we're just going to stay there. And it's not, I don't think it's right, and I don't think that's the way it's supposed to be. And secondly, mental health. Mental health is a really it's a really public issue that people like. It's not public. People talk about it, but people don't really like look at it as something important. over the years, people have been saying, we're going to talk about mental health, we're going to do this about mental health, but there's been no change. When Becky came to our school and she brought the pop cards, I saw them, she brought both of them to our schools, and she showed us the one for the teachers and one for the students. And weeks later, and when she said they'd leave it, like they brought it to schools and everything, schools are not making any change about it. They've done nothing whatsoever about the mental health. It's just about your education, just education. Education is important too, but mental health goes around your physical and mental well-being. It's your mindset, the state of your well-being, the way you think and feel and act, and it can also affect school. Some people can't talk about it because of the stigma. It's the stigma in society. People feel like if you tell people, oh, I have a problem with my mental health, you're weak. You're seen as weak. You're seen as you're not able to like control yourself, and people think like people discriminate you and there's prejudice to you. So we need to create awareness and countermeasures on how to help people and support people with mental health. Because yes, we have PSHE in schools, but that is where our teachers, it's not comfortable. Sometimes it's not comfortable to talk to your teachers. You talk to your peers better than your teachers. And like it's the communication between your teachers and your peers are very different. So you're able to so you're not able to communicate about things that are actually bothering you. You just sit in the class and listen about what they're talking about, and you don't really understand it. So vote for me, and I have created a plan to achieve this with everyone's support. So vote for me, and together we can create a safer environment for everyone, both at home and in schools. Thank you.
Thank you, Tarani. Excellent stuff. Thank you. There's so much to think about, all the points that all you candidates are raising. It really is impressive. I'm running out of paper. I'm making notes here. Now brings us to Tom Kelly, who's 16, lives in Commons Ward, apparently not available. So Miss McDade, I think, will be running the video. So over to the technology.
Hi, I'm Tom, and I'm running to be your next member of Youth Parliament. The COVID-19 pandemic has been a truly testing time upon us all, a time of hardship and reflection for what we have taken for granted in life. For me, it was a time of long-standing reflection on my passion for music. Before the pandemic, I was busy every evening taking part in a variety of music clubs, but when lockdown hit us, I, like many other people, lost it all. I lost my emotional outlet, I lost my community, and I lost my confidence. Luckily for me, it was only temporary, but for many children, it is not. Only 19% of children from low-income households have had the opportunities I have had with the arts. Only 19% have experienced the benefits, and only 19% are fortunate enough to be part of the amazing community that the arts provides. That means that 81% are unable to experience the mental health benefits, 81% are unable to take part in the welcoming communities, and 81% are unable to develop their cognitive abilities outside the classroom. Frankly, this is unacceptable. This must change, and that is why I'm campaigning to bring about bursaries for extracurricular activities so that no child is left out, so that no child's potential is ignored, and so that no child is bullied because of financial challenges. So I urge you to think about what I've said, and remember that we live in a country where we should all have equal opportunity, and a vote for me will ensure that this issue is not forgotten.
Thank you very much. That was a really important issue. Next up, we've got Zara Sosek, who attends Bowman Academy and is 15 years old. She lives in Kinston.
Hi, I'm Zara Sosek, but I've currently got COVID and I will cough through the whole thing, so Becky's going to play my video if that's not enough trouble.
Hey, I'm Zara Sosek. I'm here to tell you why you should vote for me, and that's because I want to help you and everyone. I want to help as many people as I can in our community and everywhere else. I want to implement two things, one of them being an anti-bullying program based around rehabilitation, which would find out the root of the issue with the kid that's done it. We want to individualise it completely. It shouldn't be like, oh, all kids that do this are bad. It should be, why did this in particular kid do it? There's no way we can do it all as one. We can't just stick all kids into the same category. We need to
segregate them individually and find out what's wrong. Also communicating between schools, finding out what's working, what's not working. And then also another program that I want implemented would be based around things like ADHD, dyslexia, dyspraxia, ADD, OCD, all of that. And that would be things like spreading awareness with symptoms, how to deal with symptoms, how to deal with friends. Employers should be employing more people with these things. It should be something that's normalized. Having these disorders isn't something that should be, oh, what's wrong with you? It's what's right. Everything's fine. You just need to know how to deal with it. And I want to help this all get implemented, and I just need your vote. I'm willing to put in the effort and the work, and I may just be a picture, on your screen, but with your vote, I can be so much more.
Thank you, Zara, and get well soon. Thank you for all your thoughts there. This seems to bring us to our last candidate, Sofia Lenaska. Is 15, lives in Oscombe West and attends Bournemouth School for Girls. Sophia, please.
Hello, my name is Sophia. I am 15 years old and I go to BSG. A little bit about me. I like to read. I'm interested in fashion, and I'm hoping that by the end of the speech, I will have your vote to be a member of Youth Parliament. So starting off, I believe that it's crucial, especially after the pandemic, to support teenagers' mental health in the best ways possible. So I aim to change the PSHE curriculum from a repetitive overtaught one to one that is more broad and helpful. And that may seem like a big task, but I just want students to know that there is how to support each other and themselves, and make sure that the things that are taught in schools are taught thoroughly, and they're not just worksheets given to students that are basically the same thing every single lesson. I'm also campaigning for the environment because it's very obvious that we have a beach and tourists like it. So it gets trashed each year and 2,000 tons of waste is collected. So to keep our public spaces clean, the council spends £1 to £2 million doing that. So I think if we could spend that money on other things like cultural opportunities, which leads me on to my next campaign. So we are lacking clubs and activities and places we can go to explore our hobbies, talents, or interests. So when meeting up, there's only one place to go to, Bournemouth, and quite frankly, it's getting boring. I want to open up different places specifically for young people. I want to organise events, let us get involved, that includes book clubs, dance classes, singing competitions, protests, and picnics. So in summary, I want the young people of BCP to know that there is a youth parliament that listens, respects, represents, and is interested in their views. I'd also work together with the most voted campaigns on the Make Your Mark ballot papers, and open an Instagram account where you guys could get send in your ideas and be topped up with the latest info. So that's it. Mental health, environment, and cultural opportunities. Thank you for listening. I'm Sophia, and I hope to get your vote.
Thank you, Sophia. Thank you. What an amazing amount of candidates. I mean, quite frankly, I think if we put you all in the Hadron Collider and slammed you all together, we could completely replace all the politicians up in Westminster. Terrifically impressed. Before I am allowed to go into my closing speech, can I give Nathan, member of the Youth Parliament, a platform here for him to tell us his thoughts, and actually, what have you been up to, Nathan?
Thank you very much, Chair. And I would just like to say a massive well done to all the candidates tonight. All of your speeches were amazing, and the issues that you guys are campaigning on are really diverse and really, really important. So I'm really looking forward to helping anyone who is elected in the future to help you on the path to becoming amazing members of Youth Parliament. Just a little update on what we've done. We've been over the last 2 years working on lots of campaigns to do with the environment, mental health, homelessness, knife crime, youth participation, and we've had massive support from charities, from the council. We've really been able to bring all types of organizations together to create some real good resources for young people. And the number one thing I would say is don't let anyone tell you that you can't do any of your campaigns or any of your ideas that you think might be a bit too out of reach, because a lot of the things that I have been managed to do over the last 2 years, I would have never thought that I could have done at the start of it. So I really hope that you guys have a great election cycle, and hope you get lots of votes. And I can't wait to see you on results day to hand over the position.
Thanks, Nathan. Great stuff. It's pretty clear why they voted for you last year. I would like to echo what you said, actually, Nathan, that I'm terrifically keen, from what I've heard this evening, to, if it's possible, ranging it through Ms. McDade and what have you, to continue this discussion from my point of view as chairman of BCP, which honestly is such an honour and such a privilege to be able to put something back into a town that's given 3 generations of my family so much. It really is an honour to be just a councillor, quite frankly, let alone, getting a chain and then getting driven around and waving to people. Did I mention I met Prince Charles on my first gig? No, I probably didn't mention that. I don't think it's worth mentioning now. So really, you guys, the candidates, honestly, and all your supporters and your teachers, you should be terrifically proud. I mean, there's some ages there where I can't even remember back that far, but to have that much confidence and that much lucidity of thought and obvious determination really goes to show what you guys are going to bring to the table democratically and in life. You're doing it now, and nobody should stop you. One of the candidates mentioned about going to a careers master or something. I went to a local grammar school on an electric bus in the 1960s, and I remember feeling very inspired that I wanted to be a teacher. And I went to the careers master and said, I want to be a teacher. And he laughed and walked away. So I had my own business at the age of 25, and all on 2 A levels, quite frankly. But for those of you who've ever watched Dr. Sheldon Cooper in The Big Bang Theory, when I think he's had some rather strange milk and he wanders into the room and goes, I'm back. I became a school governor for 10 years. And that was really interesting, watching the teachers work from the other side of the fence, looking at the pupils, 2 of whom were actually my children. So you can imagine the amount of massive embarrassment I managed to apply in a whole decade. But it's been a real honour and a privilege to be involved with this, the hustings this evening. And believe me, let's continue the conversation. I'm easily contactable, and you should all be very proud of yourself. In fact, unless it breaks the Zoom techniques, I think you should all give yourselves a round of applause for what you've done this evening. Now, I'd like to give this opportunity for elected members, other councillors who are tuned in today, and senior officers, to allow them to, there's a clapping hand appeared on my screen. Who did that? Wonderful. So any senior officers or elected members, if you'd like to say a few words, I'll sit back and shut up for a little bit.
Nigel, hi, it's Councillor Mike White here. Is it all right if I come in?
I'd be very disappointed if you didn't, Councillor White. My goodness, you were the guy I was thinking of.
Hey, Nigel, I mean, it's been a great evening. I mean, I don't know all the young people here, but if I can just introduce myself, I'm the Cabinet Member for Children and Young People. I just wanted to say I found the session really interesting. I'm really impressed with the passion and commitment from our young people. Perhaps I can make one rather, harsh comment, if you like, as a politician. I remind you all, politics is actually a tough game. I mean, a lot of you have come across with very powerful messages, but that's one thing. There are 28 of you seeking a couple of places and 2 reserves. The message is one thing: you need people to vote for you, and that actually means a lot of hard work if you're going to come through at the end of this process. I wish you all luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor White. Councillor Richard Burton, I see you've got your hand up. If we can connect you.
Yeah, hello, thank you. First of all, I need to apologise to everybody because I wasn't able to see the first part of the meeting because I was at a council meeting at the time, although I believe this has all been recorded, so I'm going to quite enjoy watching it all a bit later on. I chair Children's Services Overview and Scrutiny at the moment, and the people who actually get elected here will end up coming to join that committee. And I know I have worked and very much enjoyed working with members of Youth Parliament through the last few years. And I'm looking forward to whoever gets elected, because I know all of you, what I've heard so far, will be excellent at that. So well done. And I'm looking forward to working with some of you.
Thank you, Councillor Burton. Next hand up I have is Kathy Hadley.
Good evening. Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Apologies that my screen isn't on. I'm Kathy Hadley. I'm the Director of Children's Services for BCP. It's my second week, and I am amazingly impressed with the skills and abilities and the articulate and intelligent young people that I've heard speak today on such a wide number of issues that affect children and families that are really current. And so I'm really, really impressed, and everyone must have done a lot of work to think about what it is that they wanted to talk about. And I think also I witnessed some really good skills in confidence, in presentation, and how you're going to be able to campaign for children and young people. So I was really impressed. And I think however the vote goes, it's going to be incredibly hard. But thank you very much. I've really felt very proud of you all. I think you should be very pleased with yourselves.
Kathy Hadley, thank you very much indeed. And we would really have loved to have seen you, but get that camera fixed. So before I hand over to the people who really know what they're doing this evening, just got a couple of points. Is there anybody else that needs to say a few words? Councillor Trent, I see your hands up. Councillor Trent.
Thank you. I think the chairman said at the very beginning something which I kind of think is very true. I was totally blown away by 28 people. In fact, I ran out of space on my bit of paper even to write the names down, let alone what was said. And I think what Nigel said earlier on is very important, actually, that you've got to get out there and get yourself known, and in whatever way possible. And I know that you've all come across very different, lots of skills and so on. And I've maybe sort of found what I might be shortlisting or something if I was a young person voting. But you really need to get as many people as possible knowing what you're about, and so on. But it was excellent. It was really inspiring. And if ever I feel that the world's going to pot, I hear sort of young people speak, and I realise that there is hope if we don't mess it up in the middle, in the in-between time. So congratulations, and all the best.
Thank you, Councillor Trent. I'd love to accept praise, especially where I haven't earned it, but I think it may have been Councillor Mike White that actually said the words that you paid tribute to. But I think everybody knows that what you said, and all the thoughts expressed, the articulate and confidence of the young people that we've been honoured to have the opportunity to hear this evening was truly amazing. So thank you all. Now, voting apparently will run online from the 1st of February, starting at 8 AM. So don't try and vote at 7:59 because you're too early. And it will run until the 28th of February, and it will finish at midday. So don't try and vote after lunch. Okay, so get those dates in your diary. The results will be announced at the ceremony on the 28th of February. And I hope Nathan knows about this, but Nathan will be delivering his exiting report. So you've got a few days to prepare that, and all are welcome to attend. I'm sure the venue and whatever restrictions that may or may not apply at that time will be communicated. Unless there's anything that anybody else needs to add, I think I may have to employ the tools of the trade and draw this meeting to a close.